Hey, it's me Tiama and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, hello, my name is Tiama and I'm an art student. Please excuse the audio in here, it's really echoey because I'm alone in this atelier.
Atelier is how it's said in French. Now, in English, atelier.
Because I'm alone in the studio. Today I'll be painting my second ever self-portrait. If you watched my last video, and I recommend that you do because I really worked hard on it, please and thank you. In the previous video I finished this painting and this is actually my first self-portrait with oils. And today I'll be making another self-portrait. This is obviously Baroque inspired, but this time it's going to be a little bit different because it's inspired by a different art movement called post-impressionism, and it's inspired by an artist called Emile Bernard. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. As you can see, when this video started, I already have another painting done, so instead of jumping straight into paint, I'm using a pencil to draw in some guidelines to transfer the sketch more accurately. But before we continue, just listen to this for a second. Yeah, this is now an ASMR channel, I guess. Anyways, at the end, my canvas looks like this. As always, I then go over those guidelines with diluted oil paint to properly transfer the drawing. And today I'm using this oil paint that I got in a beginner-friendly painting set in the shade Burnt Sienna. It's not pretty, it's not meant to be perfect, it's just there to give me a structure so that I don't completely lose my face halfway through the process. I usually start with a basic outline. I first sketch the face and I check the proportions, and then I draw a little bit of the background, and then I go and do my favorite part, which is the face. Usually it's very obvious that the proportions are not right because it just won't look like me. And yeah, it's pretty easy to notice that. So thankfully I have my rag right next to me. On the rag I have some turpentine and I just easily erase the mistakes that I've made. And at the end I'm left with something that looks a little bit like this. For now I'm pretty happy with how the sketch is looking like, but we'll see how it goes. And after that I prep my colors and stare at my very poorly photoshopped reference sketch. And yes, it looks bad, but somehow it works. For this painting, I decided to work from the background to the foreground. That just felt like the safer choice, even though it still ended up needing a lot of fixing. At first, the background just wasn't it. It wasn't light enough, it felt flat, and it had absolutely no dimension. So I spent a lot of time adjusting it, pushing the values, and trying to make it actually support the portrait instead of swallowing it. So yeah, as you can see, I was having a bit of a difficult time with the blue in the background, and then I am slowly moving to the foreground. After I completely covered the background, I left it out to dry. On a different day, I finally started working on the face, and yeah, at first I looked like an actual ghost. Very pale, very unsettling, but I trusted the process, even though the process was not giving much back at that point. That did not stop me at all, and I decided to work on the bow for a little bit. And here are just all of the faces that my painting went through at the beginning, so that you can really see that you really need to trust the process. This is a week later, and I had to switch studios. I was now painting in the basement of our university. No windows, no people, no noise, just me, the painting, and the smell of turpentine. After a few hours down there, I decided it was probably time to leave because I was feeling kind of woozy. So yeah, I left. But in that session, I mainly focused on fixing things. My professor had mentioned during critique that I need to adjust. I adjusted the face, brightened the shirt, and finally added some color to the eyes, which always feels like a turning point even if the painting still isn't done, which at this point it wasn't even close to being done, but anyways. But of course, on the next critique day, the painting still wasn't light enough and there still wasn't enough definition in the face, so back to the fixing things we go. Again. At this point, I've accepted that critique days are just a humbling experience. For my final session, I added the last details. I genuinely prayed for it to go well. I refined the face, pushed the contrast a bit more, and added the final white speckles in the eyes, which somehow always make the painting feel alive. And that was it. I have to say that this painting felt a lot easier and quicker than my previous self-portrait, and I actually enjoyed the process a lot more. And I think that definitely shows in the final result. But what do you think? If you have any advice, corrections, critiques, or opinions, comment down below. I generally love reading them and talking about art with you guys. Like and subscribe if you'd like to see more art vlogs and painting processes from me. And thank you so much for being here and spending time with me and my art. Now, a moment of silence so you can enjoy the painting in peace. Bye bye!